Brought to you by Penguin.
The Mechanism, a crime network so deep it brought down a nation. By Vladimir Netto. Translated by Robin Patterson. Read by Robert G. Slade. Introduction. MISHA GLENNY. Brazil matters, not just to Brazilians, but to every inhabitant of this planet. It's by far the biggest country in South America, and the #1 exporter of iron ore, coffee, orange juice, beef, and soya, to name just a few commodities. It is currently the 9th largest economy in the world, but by 2050, analysts are confident that it will be the 4th largest after China, India, and the U.S. But the critical reason we need to understand what's happening in Brazil is the Amazon. This rainforest is the lungs of our planet. Brazil has stewardship over 60%. How it chooses to manage the Amazon will have an impact on all of us. The book you have in your hands is vital to understanding the country's immediate past, its present, and its unpredictable future. I am writing this introduction in the wake of the inauguration of Brazil's new president, Jair Bolsonaro. The new leader makes no secret of his ideology or his political intentions, as his frequent use of misogynist, racist, and homophobic language testifies. He eulogizes Brazil's military dictatorship, which lasted for 21 years from 1964. During impeachment proceedings against the left-wing president, Dilma Rousseff, he lavished praise upon a former colonel, Carlos Brilhante Ustra, who headed up the torture unit at the time when Rousseff was a political prisoner. Following the result of the Brexit referendum and the election of Donald Trump in the U.S., the rise of Bolsonaro is yet another disturbing example of the polarization of public discourse since the financial crash of 2008. But his success also confirms how right-wing populists around the world have been able to exploit the anger triggered by economic failure and political stagnation much more effectively than liberals, social democrats, and the left. The implications of Bolsonaro's victory are potentially as far-reaching as the Trump presidency. Like his U.S. counterpart, Bolsonaro is a climate change denier. During his campaign, he initially said he would take the country out of the Paris Climate Change Agreement, although he later moderated that position. Nonetheless, following the elections in Brazil, illegal forest clearance in the Amazon has jumped by 50%, as developers are convinced that Bolsonaro will support their plans to expand agricultural land and mining sites at the expense of the world's most important natural habitat. If, as is feared, this pattern continues during his presidency, it will be the single biggest setback to the measures put in place by the Paris Agreement to combat climate change. Yet, despite this, Bolsonaro takes office boasting huge domestic popularity. He won the election in the second round with 55% of the vote, and as he prepared to take power, 75% of Brazilians said he was on the right track, with only 15% condemning his extremist policies. The Mechanism offers key insights into how and why this happened. Bolsonaro's election victory came as Brazil was recovering from what, by some estimates, was the largest corruption scandal in history, anywhere in the world. In Brazil, it is known by the name of Lava Jato, or car wash. The name comes from a somewhat convoluted reference to a petrol station, which provided the information leading to the first arrests in this scandal. At the time, the detectives and prosecutors involved had no idea that this routine investigation would be lifting the lid on a nationwide cesspit of money laundering and corruption which went right to the very top of Brazilian politics and business. Not only did it engulf the country's superstar politician, former President Luiz Inácio Lula.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?